The Swiss are getting some serious competition from China. If you're subscribed to the channel for a while now, you know that I don't just talk about Swiss brands. Although the name Swiss Watch Gang implies that, I do love watches from all over the world. Competition is good. Competition is what keeps innovation alive, and it's a much needed driver in our industry. For me, balance is one of the most important factors when purchasing a watch. The balance between design, my initial reaction to it, the craftsmanship, and last but definitely not least, the price point. I always like to give new brands a chance to prove themselves, especially if it's a brand that I've only seen online. What I always preach in my videos is that you should never truly judge a watch only by what you see online. Try to see it in person and really make your own opinion about it. That way you will really build a collection that represents you. Behrens is a company like that. I have heard many mixed reviews online and also from my friends. Most of them never even held one in person and only knew the brand from afar. Chinese watch manufacturers have a bad reputation for copying the Swiss watch industry, but that tide is slowly turning, and Behrens is one of the brands contributing to the shift. Founded in 2012 in Shenzhen, China, the company employs over 30 people in the R&D department and has their own manufacturing facilities of roughly 6,000 square meters. Here I have the pleasure to show you a watch from the Inventor line, which I wore for a while now, the Behrens Perigee. The name is inspired by astronomy, and it is the point of the orbit of the moon or a satellite at which it's nearest to the Earth, clearly visible from the drawing here, which is reflected on the dial as well. The moon makes a full rotation around the dial to indicate the phase of the moon's journey around the Earth. It is attached to this big semi-skeletonized moon track, which is powered by the gate train at 9 o'clock. It's very three-dimensional and is lifted above the dial by 3 columns. If you turn the crown enough times, you can even see how the moon rotates, obviously very slowly though. It also feels very sturdy, so I wasn't afraid turning the crown quickly. Although this watch looks very complicated to read, it isn't. You read the time from left to right. On the left side you've got the small blue arrow pointing to the hour, and the minutes are located at 3 o'clock. The spherical Earth rotates as well and acts as the day-night indicator with the white arrow imprinted on it and the hour track around. All the numerals in some parts of the moon track feature superluminova. For me, the coolest thing about this watch is the three-dimensional design as well as the ruby chain. The highly domed sapphire crystal reminds me of remarkable watches like the Jacob&co Astronomia, or if you saw my video of the Genius watches, another favorite of mine. Of course, these watches won't win any award for being slim, but that's the compromise you have to take if you don't want to wear a flat-dialed watch. There is just no way around it. The ruby link chain might remind you of high-end watches such as the Roman Gautier Logical 1, which I had the pleasure of reviewing. In the case of the Logical 1 and others, it's used for transmitting the power to the gear train more precisely and consistently. On the Behrens, it is used to transport the hours around the dial. The hour markers or flaps travel on the ruby link around the globe, and once it's their turn, they rotate into the upright position. The minutes are also one of my favorite things on this model. They are retrograde, meaning when the arrow-shaped hand reaches 60, it jumps back down to 0 to start again. It's a nice clicking sound when it happens, and when you wear the watch, you notice it. The tip of the hour and minute indicator are blue to distinguish it easier from the monochromatic components on the front. The dial, or in this case the backplate, is black. The grain texture is inspired by the surface of the moon and the color for when it's dark. If you're a fan of astronomical watches and want to stand out from your collector friends, this one is for you. The overall quality of the components is good, especially if you take into consideration that this is the first fully in-house movement by the brand, and the price point is 13,500 Swiss francs for the 200 pieces that will be produced. I've seen worse from much more expensive watches. The price for what you get, I think, is fair. I challenge you to find something similar. You all know how I welcome your input in the comment section below. The case pack is fully open, where you can see the black-coated movement. Overall, the components are clean, the screws are mirror polished, and the big balance wheel beats at 18,000 vibrations per hour or 2.5 Hz. As you see, it's a fully manual winding movement with approximately 45 hours of power reserve. There's even a power reserve indicator, so you can quickly check it out before you wind the watch again. The bridges are skeletonized, matte, and there is even a small stamp of the brand Behrens next to the balance wheel. It's a unique movement construction. It feels balanced and well made once I was setting up the watch. It's a very wearable watch. The black-coated titanium case is light and almost non-existent, and so are the lugs. The buckle is well made, scaldnized and black, so it's in line with the case. Although the diameter is 43mm and thickness is 16.8mm, luck to luck, we are at 48.8mm, it wears much smaller than that. The sapphire crystal is perfectly domed and smooth, so it does fit under the cuff. So who is this watch for? If you have multiple watches already and if you want to wear something that not many people own, this one is for you. This way you also support a new brand to help them create new watches in the future. Some of their watches like the Rotary and Polar were also nominated for the GPAG, watchmaking's most prestigious watch awards. If you're curious about the brand and want to discover more models, check out the link in my video description. Their goal is to indicate time differently, so have fun exploring, guys. Special thanks to Behrens for supporting the channel and helping us to create more and better videos in the future. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about the watch, the brand, and also if you would wear one. Like, share and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you next week.